how would you like structure that, like, or building a team around a brand?
So when it comes to like, what I basically did to build a brand is I didn't even know what brand it was. I just kept putting out content. I kept putting out videos, and I didn't even know what a brand was for real. And I told my story. So it's like, it's hard because they say you should be niche. You should talk about one thing.
Right.
Or they say like, you know, if you don't be niche, then you would be all over the place. But with me, I just kept trying a bunch of different stuff and just doing. And then whatever resonated with the people and worked, then it was like, I'm gonna stick to this. So now when it comes to personal brand, I figured out what people want to see. Like, for example, is who am I and why do people follow me, right? And that's personal brand. So I'm a young black guy from the streets of Detroit, and then I started becoming somebody who impacted my city, right? Where it was in 2020 for the protests, stopping people from burning down with everything without a plan or just wanting to go mess stuff up and not knowing what they was doing. And then it became like, oh, I'm representing my people in the city, right? And then number two is like buying a childhood block or, you know, making music, right? So it's always, who am I? What do I like? So what do you like? What's something that you would say you're passionate about?
I'm really passionate about giving back to the community, like you said, like just having a way of staying true to myself and not fall by the wayside of like naysayers or like, you know, just try to stay ahead of trends or be myself as much as I can by also giving back and inspiring other people. Like, because I really want to, so my brand is ARK. My name is Noah, but my brand is ARK, Ambition Reciprocates Kingdoms. So with that, it's just more so like me just taking my name and my story and trying to, you know, basically shed a light on something greater than us.
Yeah, so it's like you like helping, giving back to the community. And what would you say, like hobby-wise, or things you like doing? Like, right, give me some tangibles, like a couple things that you say, this is what I literally like to do, whether it's gaming, basketball, like whatever.
I really just like coming to events like this. Like Black Tech Week is a great way to connect and meet new people and like connect and network and just like really just embrace other people and what they bring to the table and like how can they operate in a space of like technology and how things like AI can boost our generation forward and like also bridge the gap between you know somebody that may not be as tech savvy but also living in the age of technology. So I would say technology is one of my hobbies.
Yeah, so that's a good point because like for me, I say I like to. It's a lot of stuff I like doing, but I like music. I use music to relate to people and to speak to people. I like kickboxing. That's another thing. So if I post kickboxing, people start following me, and then I say, oh, well, here's how training helps control anger. Here's how training helps you defend yourself if you come from where I'm coming from. So you see how it ties into my personal brand?
Yeah.
So like my overall goal is to help people and give back to my community, and then I can do that by, oh, this is why I train in kickbox. This is why I get in the gym to get stronger, healthier, to have more energy. So if you like tech, you can almost, you know, like you said, create different things that give back or teach people how to use tech to set them up for success in the future. Right. So that's what personal branding is. It's taking who you are and relating to the people that's similar to you and then speaking to them. Okay. And then it's always like, I heard this guy that it changed my life. He said, talk about what you've done and what you do versus what you should do. Right. And now I talk about what I do, and that's your personal brand. So now I'm speaking to people that's like, okay, young guy from Detroit. And guess what? Other people around the world are inspired by that because they want to help with something like that. Oh, well, I want to help people in the city of Detroit, so people in Europe will buy my product because they want to help people like me and the people that I'm helping. So let's say you're helping tech people that come from where you come from, where even if they don't look like you, let's say it's a white kid in like Arkansas and they want to do tech, you still will speak to them, and then their parents will want to invest in you as well because you speaking to them and helping them out. You know? Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, it do. So in terms of like impact, how important is that to you?
The impact that you make in just in general?
Yeah, like when it comes to, you know, your voice and what you like, your brand and what you promote, like how, in terms of that, what advice would you give to somebody who, you know, would really pay more attention to the impact and what he's putting out and the energy he puts out, because everything's vibration. You know what I'm saying? So how would you go about conveying that to somebody who's just now getting into the space of having a voice
and having it and making an impact?
Yeah.
So I think impact is everything. It's like you gotta. What I learned is like you gotta kind of get yourself in a position to where you can help other people first, and for people to be you to be an example to other people. So like you can make an impact once you become somebody that people look up to. And you can do it in every step, whether it's like, oh, I graduated high school, and if you're speaking to people who didn't graduate, you still make an impact, right? It can be simple. I learned how to save $1,000, right? Most people don't know how to save $1,000, so that's how you make it. You start making an impact, and then it's big because that's what make people follow you. I learned to not make my content just about me traveling and going out of town and in the club, or like, people don't just want to see that because it's like, well, good for him. People hate you for that. Yeah. If you just flash, right? But if you like, I'm about to take what I'm doing to show you how I did it, it changes everything. Here's how I got to Miami, right? When I grew up in Detroit, right? And it ain't got to all be advice. It could just be, I could post a clip of me doing something and people be excited because they see that how much I helped them during the week. And then I go to Vegas and have fun. They're like, oh, dope, that's cool. He having fun, right? Yeah, for sure. So impact is what's gonna make people really rock with you, right? I watch people that I know that's gonna feed me something I need to like learn. And people watching me for the same thing, like, dang, Trey videos teaching me how to get into real estate or how to give back to my community. So I'm trying to lean more into that myself, just so like people can follow me more and support more.
And I really appreciate that answer. And I wanted to get into that a little bit as well, because you say you did some work in Haiti.
Yeah.
Talk about those efforts. Like, what was the surrounding parameters around how long you were there, like what all you did, and how did you get started with that?
So I was working with a mega church out in, it was out in Michigan, right? So I was working there managing volunteers and helping with the music. Mm-hmm. So they sent us over there and they was funding it, and we was in Port-au-Prince. So when I was in Port-au-Prince, we was physically helping build a hospital too. So land out the concrete with the natives, and we was in a village in a compound, right? And people outside of that, we got raided at one point because people thought we was giving them all these resources and they was taking it from everybody else. But they was like, no, we building a hospital for y'all, for the community. And like, you know, imagine if that pastor would have been like, oh, we taking all this and we living in a palace and y'all ain't getting nothing. They would have went in there and probably tried to capture all of us, right? You get what I'm saying? All of us would have been tied up. But when he said, like, no, we building a hospital for the community. Every people dying around here, this got it, you know, and that's what stopped the people from raiding the village. Like, okay, bet, we're gonna let y'all do y'all thing. And that's the impact. Like, when I go in the hood, think about this. Like, people always say, like, oh, you shouldn't do this because they're gonna rob you, they're gonna tear everything down. But I'm like, I'm not going in there to build a luxury house, get bread, and leave. They know I'm doing it for the community. Exactly. And let's say the dope boys on the block, like, oh, we don't like this, where our money at? Well, it's for your kids. This gonna, these parks, all this gonna benefit the kids.
For sure.
So that, and that's how you do it. So with being in Haiti, we was there for 14 days, and it was powerful, man. Like seeing that, how people live and guys sleeping on. I'm talking how me and you kicking it.
Yeah.
You would be homeboys with somebody there, and then you would see them go lay a pallet on the concrete and go to sleep. And I'm just like, oh, this is crazy. And they wouldn't even complain about it.
And that's really how they was living.
I came back to America like, man, it ain't nothing I can complain about right now, real talk, no matter how hard it is.
I feel like Americans really don't have much to complain about when it comes to terms of, like, we're very fortunate. Like, we're very fortunate to be in this space right now. So talk about the importance of, like, networking. Like how important it is, like, to build that rapport with those people, so developers in Haiti, and just have that more of a global impact. Because starting from Detroit, you know what I'm saying, you could, from where you came from, you could have just let that be your reality. Mm-hmm. But talk about the mind shift and like how important it was to venture out and connect with new people and actually build that rapport and network.
All right, then I'm gonna answer this one, then I got to slide. But the last thing about networking overall is how you do anything. For real, man, because like, when I say I built a certain life where I was comfortable, big house, savings, crypto, everything, and I lost it all, car, house, everything, broke. And my network is what really pulled me up. Okay, Trey got skills. He go $2,000 to go do this for me. He go $5,000 to do this. He go $2,000 sponsorship. And networking is, the biggest thing about networking is not, I now see why rappers will get mad when I say, listen to my demo, and they'll be like, man, get out my face or throw it away, right? Yeah. Because people want, but I found the biggest hack of how to get, I got like 4 millionaires I can call right now and answer their phone. Right. At least 3, right? Because they know most of our relationship ain't, let me get. It's time and time of me giving. I find ways that I can help them to build their business. Oh, let me help you with this. Even if it start off as like, let me go drive and pick up coffee. Over time, you around them, hearing them talk so much, you start knowing their business, and then they need you because you start becoming so valuable that like, you know what I mean? And then, and that's my hack. Like, and I tell people this all the time. I don't ask for nothing unless I'm like, I really need this. So Gary Vee talk about that. I don't know if you heard of Gary Vee.
Yeah, Gary.
Jab, 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 right hook. You give, and then you come back with an ass. And then in Haiti, it gives you different perspectives. You learn a lot, and it expands your reach of like your impact that you're making. And it gives you a better perspective of life and the difference of how things are. When I go to different states, Miami, I was in Miami, LA, New York, Vegas, all in the last like 5 months. Mm-hmm. And you see like networking out there expands everything that you're doing, and then you learn and you can take back. 100%. I took back a lot to Detroit when I went to them places. But networking is just meeting people, shaking people's hands, introducing yourself, and seeing how you can offer value to them. And it's so easy, I'm telling you. And if you don't know how to offer value, just show up and try to look them up and figure them out before you go in trying to offer them something. I got like a 99% success rate with meeting and working with the people I want to work with. It's because I don't go straight in like, oh, let me get this. Yeah. People be like, oh, people should invest in what I'm doing. I ain't got no investors yet, but I know when I've asked an investor, they gonna say yeah, because I can figure out what that person goals is, and then tell him why this project will help him and how he'll benefit. Right. And that's the biggest piece of advice, man. You can message anybody, and if you get in contact with them, take that advice, and it's gonna be 100%. You get what I'm saying? Or the timing might not be right.
Yeah. But
yeah,
the timing is everything. And I want to leave something with you. Some mentor of mine, he said a man's reach should be farther than his grasp. Mm-hmm. So you going to all those different places in the past 5 months, and you having that reach and expanding to those different cities and expanding to those different environments just shows a lot about your reach and your grasp. So keep creating, keep evolving. I really appreciate your time, and this was a dope experience.
Show the badge real quick so you can lead them up there. All right, cool. If you want to support, that's how you can find them. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all watch this video back.